Okay, Tuesday morning in the kingdom, and there's a slight breeze, so I'm hiding behind the caboose right here. Yes, and I'm on frozen ground. Yes, look at that. Yesterday the yard was all muddy, and this morning it's minus 11 Celsius, but feels like minus 17. Yes, April showers. Yeah, it's supposed to rain tonight, but I think it's more like snow. Okay, on the yo-yo scale, plus 12 Fahrenheit, but feels like plus 1. See, I told you it's chilly out here. Unfreaking real. So we're hiding. So this morning will be a shop day as we work away on the snow truck. All right, do I have this right? I forgot this yesterday. Look at that. Lip gloss. Ooh, we got a line across the screen. There, try that. All right, look at that. Chapstick. Did I say it right? Yeah. Chapstick or lipsil. Yes, you used to put it on your lips and everything. You were so cool in the 80s doing the lip gloss. Yes. Oh, the things that people don't use anymore. It's unreal. I think this stuff was addictive. Once you put it on your lips, it was like cocaine. You had to have more and more. The weakness of things, you know. All right. So I didn't untangle the flags today because there's a slight breeze. We'll keep them tangled up so they don't self-destruct. Oh, yes. And over in England there, it's St. George's Day, I think it is. Yeah. So that's something to have a drink about. Yeah, we'll have a drink for that. Just anything to have a drink. All right, let's scroll this way. That sun is bright. Unreal as it slowly moves that way. I can't see anything standing between two silver buildings and a silver tank. We say reflection. All right, so we're going to work on the snow truck today. Maybe move the loader too, because it's kind of in the middle of the road there. But we'll figure it out. Where'd the snow truck go? I don't know. Oh, it's behind the loader. Yes, I'm so confused today. Oh, that's bright. This is a terrible intro. I don't know what I was doing standing over here. Oh, well. Well, I better go. Here comes the boss. Okay, after morning coffee in the kingdom, and we're working smarter, not harder. So this morning when it was so cold, I ran around, got the pipes and a few other items. So I just finished cutting the front bumper for the 39 Chevy snow truck. Yes. So over here, we'll back into the shop. Okay, slight turn. We're keeping the tarps closed right now because we're using the electric furnace in the shop here. So we brought the steering box in because the steering wheel and steering box has to be bolted in before we put the motor in. So if I don't bring it in, I'll forget. I have to check it out because I took it apart, realizing that is a small style. I think I was looking for one for the 45 or the 46, but it's an interesting design. And we brought in the front spring mounts or bumper things so we can clean them up. There's broken bolts in it. That's why we switched them out from the original 39. Because you got to remember this was a parts truck. So now it's no longer the parts truck. It's the snow truck. And also, too, I make my lists on what I'm to do. Also, too, all right, this here, yesterday's video, I forgot to, or the computer missed adding the flag video. And nobody pointed that out. Oh my, everybody must have been asleep at the end of the video. All right, so we'll try not to miss anything. So that's pretty good if we only make a mistake once every 50 videos or so. And I got to get a box dug out with the mini hoe today if I have to hoe out. All right, let's get to work. We have lots to do. We got to put some more gussets and braces on these skis so it'll support the weight of the snow truck because we're going to get that thing back together. I put all those parts on a table into the loader shed with the dogs, and then I realized I need that table. What was I thinking? Oh well. Okay, lunchtime in the kingdom, and we got some braces on the skis here. So now we can, how would you say, finish it up in the fall or a rainy day when we get more welding rods. So I had to put some braces on here, and I had to go at an angle because I already had my temporary support right there. This is the weakest point of the whole apparatus or whatever, because that's where the rim begins the new steel. So I'm trying to send the power back to here, and hopefully that the ski doesn't fold over in that location. We'll be putting braces on this side here at a later date, but it's just temporary figured out and everything. And we have the wheel hub over here, and we're missing studs because they're in the original 39, because remember this was the parts truck. So I pounded one out. I got my little sheet. I got my vernier. So at lunchtime I can sit down and measure and figure it out and then go online and hope for the best. And seeing how we needed the 3/32 rods for those welds, we went through the stuck rod bucket, all right? Or tray. Okay, that's how we get our butter. That's good butter in those trays. It makes nice trays too. So you take the side cutters, cut out the how do you say, the booger end off or whatever, and keep going. That's the way we do it here in Wilderness, Alaska. But in Northern Manitoba. All right, so let's get some lunch into us and see what we're gonna do, because hopefully it warmed up outside and we can wander around aimlessly lost. Okay, after lunch in the kingdom, I just checked out the steering box to see what I did. Basically, I pulled the cover off and looked in there many years ago. Okay, so these steering boxes came from the factory with oil in them, usually the gear lube for the rear end. So when it's 40 below, can we say they don't turn? So here we change out the oil. I'd already drained it when I took the cover off, and we put this gooey stuff in. It's zero grease or Arctic grease or whatever, so it supposedly works pretty good. I got a whole case of that stuff gifted to me because it was damaged, so it doesn't fit in the grease gun, but it fits nicely in here. Okay, so GM or Chevy use different styles of gearboxes or steering boxes. So the 38 GMC, the 39 Chevy truck, and then the 39 Snow truck all have this small gearbox or steering box. And then over here, the 38 Maple Leaf has a heavy duty one, and the 46 Chevy behind the curtain, just like The Price is Right. Yeah, behind curtain number 3, that's a different one. And then the 45 Chevy outside, because it's a military truck, actually has a steering box for the 6x6 trucks of the war. So there was a nightmare trying to figure out these steering boxes and get the rebuild kits and everything like that. It was a total disaster. So I have lots of spare parts for these steering boxes because I was ordering them in and they were wrong or not correct. But I'm not putting any effort into this steering box because who said it's going to have enough power to turn the skis? So we might end up going for a power steering off the Buick or something. So we might end up upgrading, but that's okay. Let's get this thing back together so it can be installed on the truck frame. Okay, another thing to do to the steering box is turn it upside down, and for some reason GM or Chevy put screws in everything. Oh, I wasn't prepared for this filming. So look at all those screws. Okay, so how do you get those screws out when it's up against the engine block, and how do you adjust this, okay, to get the screws out? Because this is under the exhaust manifold curve is right here. Okay, so that's the tail going to the tailpipe. So I took it apart, put in these here because the wrench will always fit versus a screwdriver. Plus I took this apart and loosened it off, got it all lubed up, put the never sees on, same as here. I can't adjust the steering box because this here adjusts it that way to push on the shaft, and then this pushes on the worm gears going this way to take the slop out of the gear here. Okay, but you can't do any adjusting on that until you have the drag arm, or the drag arm, I think it is, or whatever, the steering arm, pitman arm, that's a big word, we'll use that. Okay, so you can't do any of that, but it's a hell of a lot easier to do it here on the workbench with the tools. And this is what you need. You need the big 1.25" wrench, and then you need this, and then in here, you know, to break it loose, because this stuff's been sitting for 80 years, over 80 years now. So now it's adjusted, and we can buff up here and buff up the brackets and the brackets over there, and then we can say we can install it if it warms up outside. It's not that warm out there, so we'll keep hiding in the shop. That's the best place to hide from the boss. He's such an asshole. Okay, coffee time in the kingdom, and I did it because I wanted to get this done so when I go in for coffee I can put my winter gear on to go outside and play. Yes, I have to dress warm. All right, so these are the frame horns for the 39 Chevy. Okay, so they go in the frame like this. All right, and that's for the front bumper, and that's for the front spring. And you need this here because if the spring ever breaks, the shackle goes up against here, so you have to have that. I took them off for some reason, and there's a long bolt that goes through here through the frame, and it was rusted right in, so I had to drill it out. So here's the evidence of the drilling. Yes, the evidence. Okay, but I used small, big, bigger, and got it done. And then the frame horn bolts at the front here, all right, they break off or get loose because the bumper's out there banging away, or I don't know, from hitting everything and stuff like that. So I was able to drill it out and chase it. But see, somebody torched this one out and didn't do a very good job. And then on this one over here, I was actually drilling out and chasing the existing bolt. Talk about my lucky day. But I credit the Lloyd's lube from Sir Rodney, the cutting oil. Okay, so I don't have a 2132 bit. This little tub here is set up for doing the lumbar hitches on the sleigh bunks. Okay, so I don't want to use any of those. I brought the taps out because you have your starting tap, which is tapered, and then the bottoming tap. I only have the one 2132 drill bit. I didn't want to drill into booger stuff, right? So a 5/8 bit is just smaller. So I marked this one here because it's bent, right? So it's got a wobble to it. So I was able to drill down with the wobble, which gave me the clearance or the distance. So instead of having a bigger drill bit, pick one that's bent. And I drilled through the crap and got through. So that was good. So after coffee, we can go out and assemble these on. I trust these threads in here like my ex-wife. Okay. So I had marked or ground these nuts down to fit in there too, so because we're going to be pulling on the bumper, right? This little snow truck is going to get stuck, and we're going to, how would you say, fail numerous times until we figure out its limitations. Like 6 feet of snow at a 90-degree angle, no, it's not going to go. So I want to be able to pull on the front bumper, so we got these nuts to fit back in here. Okay, so doing this work in the bench here, on the bench, makes it so much faster, so much easier than outside in the snowbank or in the cold trying to figure this out. So this, how would you say, prep is ready. Okay, let's see if we can do the walk and talk. All right. So here's the steering box over here. All the parts are cleaned up. Okay, so I'm administrating oil in here because there's a little bushing in here. And there's the bracketry all ready to go. And there we go. Never sees anywhere, so when I go to install the steering box, I'll look like the Tin Man from the Wizard of Oz.
Tuesday morning in WHO-ville. It's just after 8 a.m. and I'm getting ready to head to work. As you can hear from my voice, I am sick. Yes, I said that correctly. I am sick again. It seems like every 2 weeks, as soon as I start getting better, I am sick again. Now it's time to head inside, let the dogs back in, and get to work. Hopefully it's a pretty easy morning. 12:30 and I'm just finishing up lunch. I had leftovers from last night. Only had 7 kids this morning, which was pretty good for me because I am really sick. Now it's time to head inside, let the dogs back in, and get to work. Just after 4 p.m. and I made it home from work. I had 8 kids this afternoon, so it was a pretty chill day. I already got the quad out. Now it's time to head on over into the kingdom and see what my dad's up to. I am pretty sick, so I don't think we're doing anything. 4:30 and I just made to the kingdom. Now I'll head on down to the shop and see what my dad's up to. I think he's working on the snow truck, so let's go check that out. Almost 5 p.m. and I just finished helping my dad put the steering box in right here. I had to hold the steering wheel up into place while he bolted it down. I'll walk over and get a little video for you guys. Then I had to get the mini out so my dad can lift it up and continue working. Right now he's building a little bumper on it so he can move it around. You can kind of see the steering box here where I had to help him so he could bolt it in. There's a few bolts on the bottom side here, then the ones on the very top, but now it's in place so it won't move. He just brought the bumper out after plasma cutting the holes a little bigger to get the bolts in. Now let's see if it works.
From being new.
Just used the Mini to lift up the truck, that way my dad can put on the makeshift bumper on the front here. It's also a lot easier working with it up in the air so he's not bending over as much. 5 p.m. I'm officially done in the kingdom, just had to help my dad with a few things. Now it's time to head on back into WHO-ville and do the weather. Just after 5 p.m. and I made home from the kingdom and put the quad away. Now it's time to head inside, let the dogs out, and do the weather. As you can see, it's getting pretty windy out here, so I'm curious to see what the temperature is. 5:30, and this is the temperature we're sitting at today. It's 7 degrees Celsius, which is 44 degrees Fahrenheit. We even have the feels like on the bottom. It's the same weather as yesterday, but that wind makes it feel a little chillier. Now it's time to head inside. I'm going to leave the dogs out a little longer, make some soup for supper, and then I'm going to lay down and end my day.
Okay, just after 6 p.m. in the kingdom, and we're still going because I wasted an hour and a half of my life putting that bumper on. I created my own problems, like when I said I do. I grabbed a bolt out of the bolt bin because we did scrap metal for how many years. This thing is soft, the threads pop off. So you're trying to get everything to go in, and it's at a terrible angle and everything. It was unreal, but I got it. And also too, I should have, if I had the tools and equipment, I shouldn't have chopped it out to a 3/4 because it was an oval shaped 3/4. I should have went one size bigger, but we don't have the tools or the technology. So I created my own problems, but it's on there. I just about got mad and welded it. Okay. Also too, before we started anything on this project, we went around with the buffing wheel. Yes, the flapper disc. And if you go after the rivets right there, it smooths out, makes it smooth. If you use the grinder, it gouges into the frame itself, or if you're really lucky, you can use the chisel and the big hammer, and those things pop off. So we cleaned up the frame rails. Ooh, you see that in there, Les Nessman? The brake booster and brake mechanism, battery, all everything's gone. And the running board things, because we don't need running boards where we go. Right, Marty? That's from Back to the Future when they modified the DeLorean to fly in space. All right, so here's all the crap we took off. I'll sort through it, put some of this stuff in the scrap bin. Some of it will go in the storage trailer to be auctioned off at my estate, so whoever gets these trucks can restore it back to original. All right, so we're doing a test fit on everything here. All right, so this is the front axle and the front leaf springs out of the 38 GMC. In 1977, my dad had those springs redone, so they were like new. But when we did the 38 GMC over there with the promo bike, we went all new springs, new everything. And we put the axle from the 39 in there because it was in better shape. This thing here, I'll need the oversized kit for the kingpins. But right now we want to do a pre-assemble to see what we're missing and what parts we have to order and hope the money tree. The staff arrived to help me with the steering box. And it's very important you put that in, because if you don't put it in, you have to put the thing over the pit or lift it way in the air and then shove it up. But we left the steering wheel on, so that worked out good. We have the doors safety wired on so nobody gets hurt when they fall off or anything like that. All right, let's get going here. We want to get this thing up on skis on the front end so we get some ideas, and I'll just say we know what we need for parts. Okay, 7 o'clock in the kingdom and we're still going, but look at all those empty yellow containers. And once I dump everything out and bolt it on the snow truck, we can reuse those containers for something else. So we're just dumping it out, going through what we need. Here's the wheel bearings and everything like that. We're not cleaning them up, but we're missing a nut and a washer. It's a special thread, so we'll kind of jimmy rig this on to hold the wheel hub on. But this is the mess we're making, but we're getting it done because I need to know. Okay, everything's going a lot better, and the bumper is handy for lifting it up. Yes, we're working safe. We're not going under it. We know it could fall at any time, and then we have to wait for an airplane ride to the south to get the good drugs, but we can always drink the vodka. All right, so we're putting this together. The front wheel hubs are a 5-bolt pattern, so we have to figure it out. I just put some bolts where the studs are missing, and we have the kingpins in here. We just used the big bolt. Can you see that, Les Nessman? Oh, okay, maybe over here. Can we see that? There's a big bolt in there now because we're not wasting time figuring out kingpins. Just same as the spring here, thingy bobs. Instead of sorting through and picking them out, we just kind of shove bolts in because we want to get this together. We can't find the drag link, which is a minor detail, but that's a minor detail. Plus, we're not going to be running front brakes, so that'll work out good. So there'll be more speed for us. Yes. All right, let's get the other side together, and then we can set it down and see what it looks like. Okay, just about 8 o'clock and we're still not done. We're delayed because of that front bumper. So these are the extra tires off the duals from the 38 GMC when we went for a ride, drive through the bush to set the clutch or whatever it was. And we never put them back on. So they can go on the snow truck here because that's the style of tires we'll be purchasing when the money tree blossoms. Yes, because we want those tires nice and skinny so the tracks will fit. And then we'll have to have another tire in front. Okay. And we got the tires on. Oh, back up over here. I'm getting confused. All right. Everybody's dizzy? Have a drink. All right. So there's the rotten tires, the old tires I put on just to roll it around. They can go back to the storage trailer. We're doing it now because if I don't do it now, there could be 6 feet of snow tomorrow. All right. So over here, this is what we wanted. It's the tie rod we're missing, not the drag link. We have the drag link. So this is what it's looking like. It's looking good. And we can also take the brake drums off, which I think we might be doing because those are the spare brake drums for the 39 Chevy that we drive. Yes, the water truck, the gin pole truck. So this is turning out good and it looks better. So it's well worth putting the bumper on. Now we can move it around, no problems. This is looking good. And we can now figure out the bracing of the skis on the inside. So if we take the drums off, we'll be good to go. But we should also incorporate it that we leave it on with the drums in case we put these skis on the 39 Chevy that's roadworthy. All right, so we kind of jimmy rigged everything together. I'm very pleased. All right, let's go do the 2 more items on the list and then we can call it a day and drink professionally. Okay, it's about 8:30 and we're done. We put the old tires away. I don't know what I was thinking. Oh wait, I didn't think this was supposed to be that big of a project. All right, so we went and got the toolbox off the Screaming Ford when we put more fuel tanks on her. I think it was, we took this one off. It was on the Screaming Ford for a long time. We kept all our straps for tying the lumber down and stuff like that in, so we just nipped it off. So here it is here. We'll dress it up, nip all that scrap metal off, and then it'll be here, and this will be the battery box for the snow truck. Yes, the snow truck. So now we got this all figured out. We can figure out how to bolt the fuel tank down. And we got to get a 2-inch exhaust pipe going straight up right here. Yes, that's the trademark of the kingdom with the Black Fleet. The exhaust must go up, okay? So we can figure out the angle irons and bracketry for this stuff here, okay? So we got a list of what we need here. We'll bolt more things on, like we need the tie rod, we need the spindle nut. Okay, we'll walk around. We have the drag link and the pitman arm, okay? But it says spindle nut here and the cap and the washer. So I don't know where that went. I don't know. Maybe I sold it for beer. Or maybe the truck never had it when I got it. I can't remember. Oh well. But the main thing is the parts truck is becoming a usable vehicle. And look at all the parts we've taken out of storage. And this is looking good. I can't wait to go for a drive. But I think we'll put the wheels on if we drive in the summer. Alright. Let's go check the flags this time. Okay, the official end of day video checking the flags. I forgot to add it last night, so I'll add it tonight for sure. Okay, let's go walk the dogs, drink some beer, and celebrate the victory. We got done what we wanted to do, even if the dumb bumper wouldn't go on. But we didn't panic and weld it into place because I know I'm going to remove it someday. All right, let's go walk the dogs, drink some beer, and make a video. Talk to you later.